going to make earrings. For making the earrings, I'm going to use this mold. This has 4 different styles of triangles with different proportions. I'm going to try and color them by respecting the shapes and see. I'm going to use pearlescent mica pigment powders for this project. There are 3 shades I'm going to be using, the dark, light and really light. So I have my cups ready. I will use them to mix and pour the resin. This mold has a volume of approximately 12 ml. I'm going to mix around 20. I will end up with having a little extra resin. I am going for 20 because the markings on this cup are in multiples of 10. And I'm not entirely confident about eyeballing other amounts, so the minimum I can pour is 20. Actually, I have never checked the markings on this cup if they are correct, because if they are not, they might affect the curing time of the resin. I'm using 1:1 mix by volume resin for this project. The instructions say that the working time for the resin is 40 minutes and the curing time is 24 hours. So, and that changes with weather, so let's see. I'm still working with a rather small quantity of resin, and I have a sneaking suspicion that working with large quantities is easier, and I might have picked up a more difficult way of starting to understand how to work with resin. Maybe larger projects would have been, I don't know. But that's what an experiment is all about. I enjoy the process of figuring out what works and what doesn't work and slowly getting better at crafting with new material. A lot of bubbles are forming. This one will have mica powder, and as long as the bubbles are not there on the surface, they will not be visible anyway. But nonetheless, I would like to get rid of them anyway. And as I work on more projects, perhaps I'll figure out a way of having lesser bubbles. It is possible that because this is such a small quantity, the bubbles being formed are more. However, that also means that when I'm casting a thin layer, the bubbles will rise up to the surface more easily and disappear. So I'm going clockwise and anti-clockwise and swiping the sides to make sure the medium is well mixed. You can see that the resin is slightly cloudy right now. Mixing the medium by stirring is really an exercise in patience. I want to mix this faster, but I can't. I have to stir slowly to reduce the bubbles being pulled into the resin from the surface. This might also make my resin cure faster, and that will reduce my working time. Just like any craft, the minimum time and effort has to be given, so patience. Today I'm going to work seriously with pigments. In the last few projects, whose links are there in the description below, I've just been trying any material. I was trying foil, I was putting glitter, I was using beads, alcohol, ink, and everything in between. But now I want to just focus on one material completely and give it more attention to get a better understanding of how it works. So, pigment powders for now. What are these bubbles? It is following me like a tail. Are they getting created because I'm mixing? Am I pulling them in from the surface? I'm not entirely sure. You can see that right at the bottom. Curious. I think the stirring movement is pulling in some of the air, and then something is bringing them together into one mega bubble. Today is finally a sunny day after 2-3 days of very damp and cloudy days. So I didn't work on resin projects during that time. I thought it required a little more heat and a little less humidity to cure well. I don't really have heating pads and other stuff which will help to cure the resin in suboptimal curing conditions. And this project is still fun for me, and I don't really want to invest in other complicated gear which might take the fun out of it. As long as the sun comes out, I'm going to use the light and the heat from it to the best of my ability. I actually came across resin projects late last year. I waited for summer to come before working on resin projects because if I needed a ventilated environment, it couldn't be during the colder months when it's wet and windy and the windows needs to be kept shut and to control the internal environment. Dear bubbles, please stop appearing. 5 minutes are up. I think I should keep another mold ready because I will have extra resin after working on this mold. And the working on time of the resin also would have been greatly reduced. I will let the resin sit for 5 minutes and degas. I'm adding the violet color. I really love this color. For the lighter lilac-y color, I will reduce the quantity because I want a little transparency in the color. For the lightest color, I will try and eyeball the same quantity as the darkest color, the violet. I will try and divide the resin into 4 equal parts. 3 parts will be mixed with the pigment and the last part will remain clear resin. I'm not sure how I will manage to divide it equally when the containers are not of all the same size and proportion, but I will eyeball it for now. Maybe I'll count the seconds as the resin streams out of the container. That should help me get the volume amount correct approximately. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. Maybe a little more. One day I should probably pour water into these cups and make some markings on the outside to help me mix things equally for later projects. These pigments are deceptively thick. Well, thick is probably not the right word, but it's quite dense. I should have probably just added a pinch if I wanted any sort of transparency in this lilac color. I don't think this will be transparent at all. In fact, the more I'm mixing it, the darker it is getting. Wow. I really have to control the... I thought that I had really used a tiny amount, but it seems that I was wrong, and this is quite a lot. And the dark streaks are happening because the pigment is not mixed very evenly yet. Anywho, I will stop now and let it debubble. I had put even more powder in this, so this will be even darker. And it is, look at that. Pigments are sort of gravitating towards the center. So cool. I want to look at that, but I need to keep stirring. This is so dark. I probably could have achieved this violet color with alcohol ink. Well, not really. Alcohol ink is sort of one-dimensional. This mica powder, this pearlescent nature is more dynamic. So I will just mix the white. The white is getting a lot of bubbles. Well, you can see the bubbles in the white. There are probably bubbles in the darker colors also. It's just not, the camera is probably not catching it. Okay, the mixing is done. I think I will add a background of chameleon powder for one of these designs. I think this medium one, just to see the difference. This one has blue, green, yellow tint. I'm not expecting it to show up much against the hues I'm using because it's white and it's just adding a dimension to the existing design. I'm going to shake up the mold a bit to remove any clumping of the powder. And we're done. It's time to start pouring. Let's start with the darkest color. It is hard to control the blobby nature of the pour and guide it into the triangular end, actually. However, I'm glad they seem to be really holding their own. The shapes, I was expecting that I would have to take some drastic measure from the resin self-leveling too fast, and but that is not what is happening, so that's good. Uh-oh. Let's get that off. And let's get this blob as well. So the next color. These ones are almost full. There's barely any space left. The small one, I'm not sure if I can add more color there. This color is gorgeous. I really like lilac colors. And I think I need to really speed up because the resin is leveling and it has a mind of its own. I have to work faster with this. I am too slow. This container is stiff. I can't bend the sides to guide the resin. It's sort of trickling down the side. This is going to get trickier with every pour I make. Oops, not a good choice. Yeah. So this is probably better used when I'm pouring out the entire resin, but controlling the quantity, etc., it's tricky. And this last part is what would have required the most precision, and here I have almost no control. Ooh, look at that. That's not good. I have to get that out right now, otherwise the whole of the earring will be closed. Yeah, I poured too much. will just let it dry for now. There's nothing much I can do because if I try to take out the extra resin, it will mess with the way the different pigments are interacting with each other. I should stop meddling with this now and just deal with the spilled resin. No use crying over spilled resin. Now that the resin is starting to level out, I can see that some of them need a little more resin volume to level properly. If the resin is not level, it creates a concave surface, which I do not want, which is why I'm sort of adding this clear resin. This is like the fourth color. Just to get them level with the surface, maybe even dome. I like to put enough resin, just enough. If it self-domes, that's great, then I don't have to do the doming later. Or if it is completely flat and level. So this one is almost level, this one is domed, these ones could do with a little more resin. I'm going to add a few drops of the dark resin. There's a bubble right there. This and come on, bubble. It's time to go. It doesn't want to leave. Maybe I have to torch this. It's just that I don't really feel that confident about torching yet. A little more, I think I'll add a couple of drops, and even while I'm adding these, I know this is a mistake. Look at them, they're not even mixing properly. Aww. It's okay. It'll be okay. Let's see if I can nudge the process with the pointy end of this silicone mixing stick. Mix well, mix well. And I'll add a little swirlies into this one, but not all the way to the depth. I don't want to mess with how the colors are working themselves on the other side.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard
It
about
is
what you
set. Let's have a look how well the colors have settled on the other side. Let's start with the smallest one first. Oh, it's so cute. I need to sand the edge a little. Well, no, not really. That's where the hole for the ring is. So good. This has come out nicely. Let's look at your brother. Oh, there's a bubble here. So this needs to be fixed. Let's see if I can just do it with colored resin. But that's a shame because it had come out well. Maybe I can sand this off and do the same here. Just round it off the edge over here. And then I'll not have to fill it, because with all this gradient happening, I don't think I can fill and save it, because otherwise the colors are so pretty. So next is this. Oh, that is gorgeous. It has come out very well. The way the colors are just dropping, it's beautiful. And let's see you. Good job. A little, I don't think doming, maybe one layer of doming on the other side. I'm thinking if I should just do it with a flat color or just leave it like this after sanding. I'll take a call later. I'm not. Let's see how the others turn out, and maybe then there can be a difference, because this edginess is sort of suiting this color and this shape. Really, if it were a circle or a soft hexagon, I would probably not go for it, but yeah, a little bit of doming. So, which means for my later projects, I don't have to be too anxious about filling it up. Self-doming is good. Oh, this concave thing is actually liking it. I'm just going to sand it on the sides and see how it goes. This is the one where I had dropped a resin in the center and I was worried that it would not mix, but it has mixed very well. And I like the gradient which is happening over here, the dark color, the light color, and the lightest. And this one. Good. I think pigments are more reliable than alcohol ink. And this is the one with the chameleon powder. It is giving a sheen, but the other side is also, yeah, it is adding a little bit of character. The color mixture, this gradient from white to violet is already so beautiful. This has a little galactic feel to it, really. Both the sides, the one which is a little more stronger in the pigmentation and the other one which is a little more swirly, both of them are good. And this one, oh, look at this side. I just dropped the pigment powders on this side, and this one has a more smoother finish. So here they are, the 4 types. Now I'm going to put rings onto them and finish them off. A little bit of doming is required on this side. I am still not entirely sure because this color is not really transparent or even translucent for that matter. If I should do an opaque color over here or a transparent color. Should I go for the white or just transparent doming? What do you think? Same for these ones. This one, it's not necessary because it's self-domed. I have to repair the top. And this is it. I have put them here on a cardboard because while doming, I like to bring them up to eye level to check how the edges are doing. Oops, I have to rescue this one. This one doesn't need doming actually, maybe just a touch. This surface is slippery. It works better when it is on the silicone mat. There is a better grip. Now this is done, but later I'll have to figure out a way how to do this without these pieces sliding off, because when they do, they almost fall uncured resin face first, causing an adorable mess. I also can't hold them with my fingers like I would in other dry projects, because the flappy ends of the glove finger gets into the resin, and then that gets everywhere else I touch with the gloves. That's not helpful at all. At first, I was just using the gloves to protect my hand, and I did not care if some resin got onto it. But at the end of one project, when I was removing my heat gun, I realized that I had transferred some uncured resin onto its surface, and it was all sticky. Not to mention the time and effort I had to invest in getting the resin off my skin, because I was moving the gun after I had removed my gloves. So, all in all, if there is any resin on the gloves, for any reason, just immediately wipe it off. For doming, I get very tense when the resin gets close to the side and have to push it right to the edge. It always wobbles, threatening to spill over, which it sometimes does, but most of the time it doesn't. I still have to get the hang of this. I just need to be more confident. If I put less resin, then the dome stops before the edge, and that doesn't look good either. So I was not careful. While I was doing the doming, a little bit fell on the cardboard, and this fellow got stuck, and it has now become a part of the whole. So I'll look up how and if I can remove this. I'll probably have to slice it off, which will destroy this. It's a pity because this was my favorite piece. Maybe what I can do is I can cover the back with a dark opaque color, but it really is a shame because this side was perfect and I was not careful. And also I think a little more practice with the doming, and possibly I should do it with the fast curing resin, so that and I also need to pay a little more attention to these sides because they seem to be a little edgy. Yeah, this one is fine actually, but the other ones, this one has also come out fine. Pretty. This one is perfect. I have no objection to how it has turned out. It's all good. No mistakes anywhere. The doming is okay. And this one, I'm so sad. I'm not really sad. I mean, it's a learning process, right? It's better to have this happen at this scale instead of a large project completely stuck because I dropped blob of resin somewhere. And also while doming, I might have dropped a little bit here and there, and so here it is. I don't know if I can slice it off, or well, it had happened on this also. I did try to slice it. So what I tried to do to fix this was also actually very nice, other than the bubble which was stuck here. So I just tried to drop a bit of resin, but what happened was that drop then sort of rolled off here. So again, this, if I need to fill this which I did to a certain extent. I thought that if I put a locket clasp on this, it will not be visible anymore. And I can still use it, but then there was a blob which fell on this side, and I think I tried to gouge it out with my X-Acto knife, and I might have slightly destroyed it. So this one is I'll see how I can salvage this, because this is my favorite color set, and I was actually looking forward to this. And this I was really looking forward to. I like danglers, but I don't know what to do about this. I'll probably coat it with this mica, because it's not visible so much from front. Maybe sandpaper it off. What do you think? Let's see. Oh, this size was perfect. Anyways, live and learn. And this is all good. The mica has come out. The chameleon powder effect has come out well. And this side as well. The doming has happened fine. And so there's these little kinks in the edges. And I'm wondering if I should have sort of worked on the edges first before the doming. I think that is why this has happened. So I have not domed this side, so I still don't have a comparison of what happens if you dome with irregular edges and regular edges. So in my next project I'll probably figure that out. I think it probably doesn't, because I have domed a couple of earrings where the edges were smooth and the doming also happened very smoothly. So this is okay, work in progress. So this is 320, and what I'm going to try and do is, if I can sand off a little bit of that, and maybe just work on the sides a little. Now that this sanding is done, I have to dome the other sides now. Oh, this one. While I had put it aside for curing, there was a little bit of resin on the cardboard and that got stuck onto this. I was able to remove most of it, but the surface remains funky and there's remnants of cardboard still stuck to it. So I'll need to sand this off. I domed it, and while doming I accidentally filled up this I filled up that hole, so now I have to open this. So yeah, you have to be careful when you're doming. Lesson learned. Took me a while, just making sure that this is not as clean as this hole, because when you drill the hole it becomes sort of white. I'm just going to make this a little dirty. Anyhow, that's that. Okay, I just checked at eye level and everything seems to be fine. I'm going to cure it under UV light now. The sides are also done for this, and I have cast a layer on the top of the other side too. Originally I was planning not to, but the resin gives it a little bit of dimension. The convex nature of the domed surface gives it a little more depth and really works in favor of the pigments. Let's start with the smallest. We are going to be connecting them with this first. I don't even need the pliers, just need to do it with my fingers. For the last round, I'm just going to use my plier. This is nice little hoop. I think it's going well with the design. So let's do that to the other one also. Wow, that went in quite easily. Squeezy wheezy. To make sure, but not too tight. It doesn't really need to move around that much making sure that it is stuck properly. I'm going to just open this up. Which side is open? Let's see. Okay, so that I'm going to open it slightly, and so I want which side front? I think this is the side I want on front, or this one. Yeah, this one has more character, so let's go with this. You need to push this away because it tends to go near the hoop. And voila! We put the hoop back. Ta-da! My first earring! I'm so excited. I think I know what I'm going to give all my friends who like wearing earrings for Christmas. And the ones who don't like to wear earrings also are going to get. So it can't be helped. And this is also done. Okay, so here we go. Cute little earrings. This is beautiful, the way the colors have worked, the way it has sedimentation on the top and it's lighter towards the bottom. Very nice. I'm going to put this flat side, which I did not do because it seemed unnecessary. It's perfect. So this is the front, this is going to be the back, and let's put it together. Okay. Put it in place. Let's tighten that. It's time to put the hoops. Pushing back the bead, just slightly open it. Just check which side is the front before you put it in, otherwise you have to open up the hoop again. And it's tightened. Make sure that it can't jump out. Yeah, so that's done. And then this fellow. In this one also I use the hoop which has that little mauve bead. I think it's going nicely with the design, making it look very cute. This is also done. I think I wasn't following my own advice because I did the same thing. I put it in the opposite direction. Oopsies. So let's take that out. I hope I can do that without scratching. That shouldn't be too difficult. So yeah, done. No, I think I put in the correct side in the first. No, what did I do? Did I just... What? No, this is the front. And... Well, that was the front. I did not make a mistake. I thought I did. Well, haste makes waste. I should have just checked it carefully. Thankfully, this is not glued in or anything. Hope this is correct this time around. This is okay. Oh dear. Yes, this is now not going anywhere. I think at that point the hoop was just turned around and I thought I made a mistake. So yeah, another thing learned. So this is done. Voila! Cute, cute. So for our medium size, we are going to use slightly different connectors. And let's go for it. Actually, this might not be the correct connector because this is too narrow at the top. This was the back and this was the front. So I'm choosing to put this at the back, though this really looks fabulous, especially with the doming. It has brought out the effect of the chameleon powder. But this side, this effect, it happened unintentionally. A little of the powder floated up and it's created its own pattern, which I really like. So I'm going to let this be the front. So let's start to put this together. We're just going to put in this connecting little hoop thingy and this is easy. And this is small and innocuous, so it really lets the design shine and doesn't overtake it. I like it. So I'm just going to secure it. Just be careful while putting these in place that you don't accidentally damage the resin, because once you scratch you have to take it out, buff it and do the entire finishing routine all over again. So these are done. So this is the front. I think the contrast in this video is probably taking away from see, now you can probably see how the patterns which has been created. I think next time I'll use a lighter background because it's taking away from whatever is happening here. And then we take the hoops, open them up a little. There we go, and ta-da, and put them back again. Secure them so that they don't pop out, because they tend to, especially at a time when you're not expecting them, and that's not nice. I don't open them much because I don't want to be bending the metals so much. And this is also done. Just going to tighten that. Align it and then just crimp it. Make sure you sort of push this ball up, because if it is there you might just end up tightening it without realizing that there is actually a gap. So you need to make sure that it's out of the way before you tighten it. So there's no chance of this fellow coming out, and voila, this is done. And the final one, I got the rings, I got the connectors, I got the hoops. So let's get started. Let's put them in and I think the finish is quite nice, and it is not interestingly in resin, like in certain forms of art where the product tells you the story of the process. Here I think the idea is to hide the process. Like, since you saw the video, you know what went behind this, how many times it got stuck to cardboard, then I had to redo the hole again, and none of it is now visible, and it's come out well. They match each other. This one is a tad asymmetrical, but since nobody can see both the earrings at the same time, I don't think it will matter. Slightly open her up, and which is the front? No, this is the back. I like this wavy thing to show. Sorry for the shaky camera. I think I've a couple of times. And they say once bitten, twice shy. Now I'm checking the locket faces twice over just to make sure that I don't have to open it again. And first align, and then just oops. Never really worked with hoops before, so this is a learning process for me. And it's done! Yay! The entire set is done now. It looks fabulous. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below about your thoughts on this project. Smash that like button and have a wonderful day.